Welcome, Reds, to the 100% United pod. I'm your host, TC. Back alongside me today is your co-host, Scott. How you doing, pal?
Happy with 3 points. Let's say that. Happy with 3 points, TC. How about
3
yourself?
points, 2-goal margin. Let's not complain.
Well, just about a 2-goal margin. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. Good.
Feels
Good
like
apart from United in general. You know, we've
Yeah.
been saying it for a few weeks now, unfortunately. It's, life's good. But yeah, at the moment, it's a tricky time to be a United fan, isn't it?
Tell me about it. My team just won the Super Bowl, didn't they, a few days ago? But
Yes.
United's broken me to a fact that I couldn't even enjoy the game. I was just a bag of nerves. I've had to watch the game twice since just to try and enjoy it.
I bet you had a nice day in the sun, though, mate.
That was all right for a minute.
You deserve it after all your hits recently.
I tell you.
United and Lewis Hamilton, dear me.
And the rest. I mean, yeah. Let's get on with this. At least we got 3 points to cover up, to band-aid over all the cracks that we've got.
Yes, absolutely. And we will, on tonight's show, react to Manchester United's win at Old Trafford over Brighton in the Premier League. 2-0 winners. The Portuguese double act did it again for United. And as you say, Scott, it's been a few weeks now, hasn't it? We've had all those 1-1 draws. Finally turned a 1-0 lead into a 2-0 lead. Right at the death there, as you say. But we got that 3 points. Critical 3 points as well, because as bad as we've been, let's not forget that we're fighting against other teams who are equally as bad and equally as mentally unstable as our team. So, yeah, we're right in the mix there. Not for our own doing, but yeah, we got the job done tonight, mate.
No, you're absolutely right, TC. There's the last few weeks I've actually dreaded looking at the league table because I imagine we're down in 9th or 10th, and to see we're still 4th or 5th and actually within touching distance of actually getting that top 4, which, I mean, let's be honest, that's all we can hope for now.
Yeah.
But a hugely important result because, as you say, we've had a lot of 1-1 draws the last few weeks, a lot of 1-0 leads slipped, and this was all geared up to be another one of those, and to actually turn the corner and win the game and get something out of it. Hopefully, we can kick on from this.
Or even worse, Scott, we lose today, right? The 1-1, all the 1-1 draws, and then loss. It seems a lot worse. All those 1-1 draws and then a win. It puts a much nicer lick of paint on it all.
Oh, no, but 85 minutes gone, you're sitting there thinking, how are we only 1-0 up here? We've had a lot of chances, and Brighton could easily go and score here, and probably be Danny Welbeck as well, just to rub even more salt in the wound. Yeah. And we would have pissed up another 2 points, and it's been unbelievably frustrating to the point that I actually saw the game. I saw the fixture list. I knew we were playing midweek, and usually a Tuesday game. Oh, great! We're playing a bit early, and I saw it, and I thought Brighton at home is the kind of game that you just don't want because
it's embarrassing, isn't it?
Oh, it's awful. If you would have told me 20 years ago that we would be dreading Brighton at home and we'd be toiling to a 2-0, scrape a 2-0 win, I'd have told you were on another planet.
And also, mate, if you look at City at the weekend, they rest half their side for the Champions League today. They spank Sporting away today. Remember the day when we used to do that? The weekend before the Champions League, we don't have to play our first team. We drop everyone. Everyone tears their hair out. We get the win, and then we go into Europe and get the job done too. Looking at that at the weekend and tonight, I thought, oh man, we've traded places. It's so sad to see.
Well, that does make our demise twice as bad, is having the people who are winning it now be City and Liverpool. If it was Arsenal and Chelsea, it would be awful. But the fact that it's those two scumbags is just the worst. The worst cherry on the top of the biggest, what pie I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's a cherry.
Yeah. Yeah.
But listen, pal, let's get stuck into the game, and we will of course trawl through United's recent woes as we go along. But what do you make of the team? Of course, David De Gea in goal. Delot keeps his position on the right. Shaw, and then originally it was Maguire and Varane, wasn't it? So it looked like a tidy back five. And then at the last minute, I believe 50 minutes before kickoff, Varane pulled out and Lindelof had to be drafted in.
Yeah, well, when the team first came out just over an hour before kickoff, I was surprised to see that one Frenchman wasn't included in Paul Pogba. given how well he's played the last few games. And then, 10, 15 minutes later to get that notification, it was and then, to be honest, the worst thing was, TC, is that looking at our bench, I actually didn't see Lindelof, so I thought Phil Jones was the only defender. And I thought, oh, God.
Which is weird, because funnily enough, on the bench, they do it numerical order, don't they?
Yeah,
no, they do it defenders, midfielders, strikers, don't they, on the bench? They don't do it numerical. Weird.
Yeah, but...
Shot to bits, anyway.
Yeah.
The whole place is shot to bits.
Yeah, and also the fact that Phil Jones played fantastic when he played a few weeks ago, and for him to still be getting automatic doubts is just shows our levels, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, as you say, Pogba did get dropped. Do you think he's been fantastic in recent weeks? You said you were surprised with how well he's been playing. I mean, he's done some good things, but he hasn't been tearing up trees, has he?
But he's implemented an aspect of control, and
Sure.
when we've had him, we have controlled the games a bit more when he has been playing, and he's just such a huge step up to Fred. Or that, I was surprised. I mean, I was all geared up to do a podcast a few weeks ago, but my microphone died. But he was going to be my man of the match, even though he didn't have a goal or an assist. TC.
Oh, there you go, mate.
Yeah. So,
dodged a bullet.
Well, I was going to flatten your curve, but the old the gremlins in the system
ain't getting flattened, mate. No chance. But yeah, Marcus Rashford left out as well. So it was Fred and McTominay in midfield along with Bruno, and then we had Sancho and Alanga either side of Bruno Fernandes, and then up top Ronaldo. The midfield, whoever we play, let alone Pogba or Fred or whoever, it looks more like a midfield. These days, doesn't it? You know, we had a time where it just didn't. There was nothing there. It was like there were a few bodies, but they were so spread out. It was so dysfunctional. But now, even in the times where we're not dominating the game, we still have got a midfield. And for a United fan on a podcast like this to be celebrating the fact we've got something that looks like a midfield is pretty sad, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, but it still lacks control in my eyes, TC. There's still a few too many, misplaced passes and just unfathomable giving the ball away in stupid positions. That Pogba is guilty of that sometimes. I'm not going to say he's not, but I do like that he. I just didn't like that Fred got COVID, was out for a couple of games, and as soon as he was able to be back, he was straight back in the team. I don't think he deserves that. Oh, but he has, it's tough, mate, because it's like trying to, you're trying to pick two or three players out of
They've all got deficiencies, haven't they?
Yeah,
that's
and now,
right. So you play Pogba, and you know that at times you're going to get overrun because he's not going to be at home. You play Fred, like you say, Fred and McTominay. I mean, you can coach positioning to an extent. I mean, you can't coach instinct, which is part of positioning, of course, but you can coach positioning. You can't coach someone in a few weeks to pinpoint pass, to be confident on the ball, to be comfortable, to have vision. So if Fred and McTominay's stop passing was not up to scratch before the change of regime, it's not going to be now. Yeah, sure, their positioning can be better, the shape of the midfield can be better, but we're still going to be chucking away passes left, right and centre, mate.
Yeah, but when you got Pogba in there, he switches the play so effortlessly, and he gets us out of a lot of defensive trouble. That sometimes you it's better than just an uncontrolled hoof to actually. Yeah. Anyway, I was surprised that he wasn't playing, that he wasn't starting.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I mean, relatively strong, right? I think you've got the two sort of best team players at the moment, alongside Bruno and Ronaldo, in Alanga and Sancho. You've got Alanga with the legs, and Sancho, he's coming to form, hasn't he? He's got a few goals and he's looking a lot better now. So in terms of the selection, it did seem like a positive one to me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's it feels weird, right? That maybe a month ago we had an embarrassment of riches in that we had all these attackers that we couldn't fit on there, and now it feels like we're
around.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's partly down to misfortune, of course, at unforeseen circumstances, but also down to us loaning people out as well, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, it's quite weird, isn't it? We've basically all the options that basically would be there have gone, and then there's obviously the elephant in the room with Mason Greenwood being out of the squad, with no warning whatsoever. Certainly for us fans, anyway. And then you've got, and you know what, Scott, and people aren't really talking about it because they don't want to talk about the unpalatable issue of the whole affair. But let's just talk about United. In all those 1-1 games, who's the person you look to in those games, those tight games? Green was the game breaker, isn't he? He's the one who shifts it from his left to his right and bangs in a goal or fires one in from the edge of the box. I know I'm going to make you upset, mate, but it's true, right?
It's tragic. It's tragic, TC.
Yeah.
And, there's a list of a million things that he could have done that you and me would have sat up here and defended him for.
Yep.
But I haven't got it in me. And
you shouldn't even.
And I'm not going to. I'm never. It's unbelievably horrific. And but you're right on a football point. 3-4 weeks ago, I was reading something that he was the 4th most valuable player in the world, £117.6 million.
We should have sold in January.
Honestly, but yeah, you always sort of thought, well, look, we're only going to have Ronaldo for a season, maybe 2, and Cavani's, he's coming to the end. But don't worry, because Mason's going to play up top for the next 10, 15 years, and he's probably going to break Rooney's record, and no big deal, and that's gone. And that
was the thing in the back of your mind, wasn't it? That when things are bad, you think, oh God,
we can fall back on that. We've got Mason, bloody,
Yeah.
And how many times you can go back to listen? How many times we sat here and sung his praises and said,
defended him.
Oh, mate.
We hung Southgate out to dry, didn't he? Maybe he was right.
I tell you what. This is why he hasn't been picked for England.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's not speculate too much, right? I mean, it's best, it's best to leave it. It's.
But yeah, for a footballing point of view, it would have been fantastic to have him on the pitch the last month. And
big time, right? I mean, when I think about these kind of games, against teams we should be beating, but they're putting up a bit of a fight. He was normally the guy who broke the deadlock.
Yeah,
he was.
It reminds me of 94-95 when Eric got suspended and we drew a bunch of games 1-1, and Fergie came out at the end of the year and said, "No one will ever convince me that Eric Cantona wouldn't have made the difference in one of those games." And I'm not comparing him to Eric Cantona, but it's the same sort of thing, right?
Because you've had some heat for your Maguire and Pallister comparisons, so don't want to go down that road again.
I love Gary Pallister, but because he was sort of you didn't expect too much of him. I think Maguire's just there's too much on his shoulders, and even with that massive head, he's finding it hard to balance it all.
What I would also say, Scott, is that you're looking at a Pallister surrounded by a team of absolute leaders, right?
Absolutely.
And you're looking at a Maguire surrounded by a team not. And if you take Pallister out of that team and you put him in a different team, suddenly he's the leader.
But right? It's unfair, right? Because Maguire's come in and instantly basically become captain, and it's not as though he had any sort of massive experience anywhere else. He was playing for Sheffield United, Leicester. Like, it wasn't Hull. These aren't big teams, and for him to come in, it just showed. I mean, the real shame of it all is that if we had got Bruno Fernandes that summer, he would have been captain. Right, and all of this would have been complete moot point. If we were so desperate for a captain, we would have had one there ready-made.
Yeah, I mean, but Scott, I mean, we were jumping from the frying pan into the fryer, weren't we? I mean, for God's sake, I mean, we went from Ashley Young to Harry Maguire. Let's not pretend.
Ashley Young was still in the team. We didn't even need him. We didn't even.
You know what I'm saying, though? It's not like we went from, and before Ashley Young was Antonio Valencia. So, come on.
No,
it's us, not him.
Yeah, but you know what, mate? It could have been Paul Pogba.
Don't even start me with that. I tell you now, Scott. If and when he does leave in the summer, I'll tell everyone what I really think of him.
All right.
We'll save it to then, because it won't be nice either. Because honestly, it's we'll save it for then anyway. Listen, pal. I know you said Fred.
We haven't even gotten the first minute yet.
No, I know, mate. You didn't have to wait long either for Fred to let you down, did you?
No.
And we could have been down after 5, couldn't we? After
But
that
it's
mistake.
unfair because he's actually played well the last month, and he's had a few assists, and you know, it's just
And
such a collective effort of dross that it's average players are looking all right.
yeah, I mean, I've never been one of these Fred haters. I know some people love to hate him. I mean, he seems like a lovely guy to me. You know, I didn't like the Disneyland thing. Remember that? I was furious about that for a while. That was ages ago, though, wasn't it?
What, he's going to Disneyland every 10 days?
And yeah, and then did he? Oh, it was Martial with the marriage, wasn't it? Or the baby? God, don't start me. I'm remembering all these things. Anyway, Fred gave the ball away. He has been playing quite well recently, but straight up the other end, weren't we? Cristiano Ronaldo, lovely little back heel. He started the match with a bit of purpose today, Ronaldo. I don't know about you, Scott, but I know you've been watching him for as long as I have, and I know the guy well. And I thought he'd break his duck today. I really did. When I watched and I saw his attitude at the start of the game, I thought there's no way he's not getting the sheet today.
Yeah, but he hasn't been. It's not as though he hasn't been trying the last month or so that he hasn't scored. I saw a clip of him walking back after we had conceded last game, and it looked like he was about to burst into tears. And I just thought to myself, what have we done to this man? He's come back with best intentions, and we've just, I don't know. It's been so negative the last couple of months that it's been tough to see that positive. But I'm really glad that he did break his duck. But he's been putting in a lot of effort, and I hate all this criticism that he gets for not trying and this and that. He's 37 years old, mate.
I know, pal.
Do you know what I mean?
And also, pal, what I would say is you're saying we there as if we've got something to apologise to Ronaldo for. We don't, right? So we personally, us fans, me, you, and everyone listening right now, we took that. This is the problem at the moment, and this is why I feel as disconnected from United as I ever have, right? Because that sense of we at the moment seems like it's just the fans, right? It used to be the fans, the club, the fans and the badge still, of course. The badge it always belongs to us, but that connection, that those weaves that go all throughout the club at the moment, mate, they're not there. So you say we, what have we done to Ronaldo? We've done nothing but good to him. We've sung his bloody name. We've blooming waved our scarves around the air. We've taken him to the European Cup final, won the European Cup. We've taken him to Old Trafford when he was 18. We've taken him into our arms. We've been nothing but good to him. Just because the blooming owners and the managers have stunk the place out and basically run the place into the ground, that's not we, is it? That's not us.
No, but as fans, I think we do have to take an air of responsibility almost. That if we are putting up with it, because we could have just 10 years ago said, listen, I've loved United so much that I can't fathom following them when they're owned by these parasites, and so I'm gonna take a back seat. But we don't, and we revel in the glory when we can win this and that, but we still want to get rid of the owners. I believe we have to take a bit of the responsibility as well.
Yeah, I'm always open for that, Scott. Absolutely. I mean, I think certainly we can take some responsibility in terms of our hysterical nature, in terms of the reaction to certain things that happen in the club. I don't think that helps in terms of the fans, in terms of the Glazers. This is another pod, another day. But what I'd say is, you say 10 years there, Scott. That's a bit cherry picking, right? It's got to be 20 years or none.
Yeah, it does.
Right? You've got to either say when we were with Fergie, but the problem is we knew Fergie could win everything no matter what, right? So we had that sort of distorted view of what was possible because Fergie was the impossible. And then
he just did so many jobs, right? He wasn't just the manager. He did so many things behind the scenes, and he basically ran that club. And we talked for 10 years about never replacing Roy Keane, but we've never, obviously, not even come close to replacing Sir Alex Ferguson in just the capacity and the understanding and just being in control of the situation. And we try and get someone like Ralph in, who has got a lot of experience in building things from the ground up and having his finger in every bit of the pie. But this is such a monumental job that it's it's hard to find anyone to be able to do it. Especially not, you can't replicate Fergie, but now you're just coming in to try and do something to emulate him, and listen, it chewed up Jose Mourinho. It chewed up some huge managers. It's a really tough gig.
Yeah, as I was saying to you earlier, Scott, and when we were chatting before the match, we need a miracle. I think I said it on the last pod as well.
Mm-hmm.
We need a miracle. Simple as that. The way we're structured, the way the momentum is facing everything about us at the moment, it's not pointing towards success. But we've seen it with other teams. You can just get a good run. And it's not going to happen in the Premier League. You can't get a good run in the Premier League and win it when you've got these good teams. But you can do it in the Champions League. And that's me this season, Scott. When the Champions League comes around next week, I am going to be so up for it. I can't even tell you. And because this is, it literally could change the course of our history. It could, and it is possible. I know people laugh and whatever, but it is possible.
It is possible, yeah. But it's
a long shot.
You know, when you're struggling to beat mediocre Premier League teams, it's hard to believe that you can go on to beat the best.
I've seen much worse teams win it, mate. And yeah, as I say, we'll do this next week, mate. All right, let's get through this game. Yeah. Anyway, Ronaldo up the other end, cheeky little back heel through to Sancho, straight at the keeper, point blank range. Got to be doing better there, Jadon Sancho. I think because the parts of his game where he lacks in terms of a winger, those parts of the game where he's tricky and he's getting in those positions, he's got to do better there. I really think so.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree.
Yeah, but it was weird, isn't it, Scott? We had the era where we started so quickly and then fell away, and then we've had the era where we started slowly and second half United under Ollie as well, and then today you just wondered whether, you know, of course we didn't get the goal in the first, so we got the goal in the second. It seems like waiting a little bit longer is a better tactic, right? You don't give them so much time. You don't give them the halftime team talk to plan their attack back. But yeah, we almost did it again, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, but you know, it just shows that they are obviously, you can see by the work they're doing off the ball that they are trying more and more every week. We obviously have improved. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's slowly but surely. But
we still only lost one under Ralph.
Yeah.
Mental, isn't it? We're like the bloody Invincibles, aren't we? Draw.
Yeah, but I mean,
they would have finished third last season, wouldn't they? The Invincibles, unbelievable. Anyway, mate, let's get through this game. We did have more possession, didn't we? We had more possession. I still wouldn't say we're controlling the games like Ralph said he wants us to control them at all. Sure, dominating possession, but controlling the game is a different thing, and we're not. We're not controlling the momentum of the game at all, and we're not pressing much either.
Well, I think it's much more, but again, pressing comes from the top, right? And when you're expecting Ronaldo to do the initial pressing, and he's
not going to work, is it?
I don't want him doing that. If he's got only a reserved amount of energy as a 37-year-old, and I'm a year older than him, and if I go running for 30 seconds, TC, I almost bloody pass out. Do you know what I mean? I don't want him to be using. Do you know what I mean? I think it's there are other people in the team to do that. I want him to use that energy to get on the end of crosses and get on the end of through balls and what have you. More than that.
I wanted him to do that when he was like 22, mate. I wanted him to conserve his energy for then. So yeah, definitely. Now I totally agree with that.
You didn't buy him to be this pressing forward.
No. And against these kind of teams, we shouldn't have to. He shouldn't have to be a Tasmanian devil up there at the top.
What happened to having 60-70% possession and not having to concentrate so much on what we do off the ball?
It's much better, right?
Yeah.
David De Gea.
6 goals in the middle, they can't get the ball off him. That's what to do.
David De Gea, just before the 40-minute mark, that's a world-class save, Scott. Yeah, that is. When he's caught it with his fingertips, it's behind him, and he's actually had to sort of flex his fingertips to sort of fire it behind. Such was the angle of the ball. Absolutely brilliant stuff from David De Gea. Honestly, top class. I mean, he won Premier League Player of the Month, didn't he, last month? Mm-hmm. And he's continuing that form on.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. Really has.
Yeah. Can you believe that? player of the month
I mean, I can.
in the whole league?
He's won player of the season 4 years out of 5. It surprised me that the previous Fraser Forster was the last one to win it, like 5 years ago. So
Yeah.
it surprised me that it takes that. It's every 5 years for a goalkeeper to win it.
Yeah.
It surprised me more when he came out and said that the team's cursed. I mean, I'm not that bad, I don't think. I mean, I've been following them week by week, but I wouldn't call me a bloody curse. Although I tell you, the Ronaldo scoring today didn't coincide with me taking him out my fantasy team, did it? Well,
Okay,
I might
you
have.
kept him in, did you?
No, I didn't. Took him out. He scored first goal, first time.
Okay.
Yeah,
You bottom now.
probably. Yeah,
You're
deserved to
getting
be.
there. Yeah, you bloody
Deserved
do.
to be.
Anyway, mate, we'll get to that later. Basuma had a chance on the 40th minute. Chance. It was wider than it looked at first glance. It looked like he might have poked it in, didn't it?
It did, but yeah.
Yeah. And then just on the stroke of half time, had a free kick right on the edge of the box. They did go to VAR just to check it, nowhere near being in on Elanga. And Ronaldo took it in the end straight into the wall. Probably more Bruno range. I did see Bruno having a little word to Ronaldo. It looked like the wall was a bit positioned just a little bit to the left there, wasn't it? It looked like a curl around it. And I think that's what Ronaldo tried to do. But that range, that's got to be Bruno, I think.
You try telling Ronaldo that.
Well, yeah, you know,
Never,
he should
not
tell
going to
himself.
happen. Yeah, but you know.
You know? I'm fair, mate. I love Ronaldo. Ronaldo's given me...
He's been doing that for years. Come on, taking free
Yes.
kicks that he shouldn't be and smacking them into the wall. Come on.
Yes,
Did you watch him the first 5 years he played for United?
He was good free kicks for United originally, mate.
It
Right in the
took a
beginning.
while.
Yeah,
It took a while. And we used to get so bloody many that he had his fair share of efforts.
Yeah, and don't forget, Ronaldo's given me more moments, brilliant moments for United than the whole rest of the squad put together. But I will still criticise him. I will. I mean, the other day when he was being a bit of a sulker, I called him up on it. I have no problems with doing that whatsoever. I do think in that situation, I understand. I do understand. He wants to break his duck right on the edge of the box. I don't mind Ronaldo taking them sometimes. But if it was more central, I'd be bang up for it because you've got more corner to aim for. When it's a little bit out to the side, I prefer Bruno because he's the one who can clip. Simple as that. It's more a geographical problem with the location of the free kick rather than Ronaldo pulling rank, I think.
Yeah, but again, it's Ronaldo.
Yeah, no problems. He did all right second half, didn't he?
Yeah, he did all right.
Just before half time, we had Basuma elbowing Bruno Fernandes off the ball. Now the commentators were saying that it didn't seem that the point of the elbow hit Bruno. It did to me. Pardon me?
Does that matter though? I think there was enough intent. I think there was enough
exactly.
intent.
Are you an accurate elbower or not?
Oh, he actually forearm smashed him, so it wasn't so much an elbow. So actually, it's fine.
That's a red card.
Yeah, me too.
It's off the ball, and we talked about Mason Greenwood earlier. Basuma's record is not clean either, and he's still got an open case for similarly unpalatable charges. So
really,
yes.
That's horrific. Well, I would have said that if that was Paul Pogba, he probably would have got sent off.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Right? I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So anyway, we got into half-time, 0-0 this time. And as usual, point you in the direction of our partners over at vintageunitedshirts.com. I used the promo code United100 for 10% discount across the shirt store. And Icons 100 for 20% discount across all the artwork there as well. And there is a new drop. There's Cantona's, there's Beckham's, there's a load of number 7s on there. So get over there, check it out. As I say, use that promo code United100 for the shirts. And in terms of the artwork, if you've got a United moment that you'd like to see turned into artwork, ping it over to me. I know most of you have done it already. All the regulars pretty much have fired in all kinds of different ideas. Some wackier than others, Scott. But keep them coming, and there will be 4 winners that we will turn into artwork. You will win a print, the print that you've chosen, of course. What about you, Scott? What would you go for?
Well, we had probably the disallowed goal. I think it was home to Fulham when Moisey was the manager.
Oh,
it was when he realised that it was offside, and he just had this face. That would be it for me.
Be serious.
It's got to be Scholesy running after he. It might be from behind.
I just thought of one
when Scholesy hit that 30-yarder in the semi-final. It might be just behind, so you can see the ball, or it was him like with his arms outstretched.
You know what? That is one of my absolute favourite United goals. But another Scholesy goal I would love to be turned into artwork is his semi-final goal against those inverted commas invincibles, right, at Villa Park, when he spanked that early goal just inside the box near post. And ran away, just sort of wrestling at that nice white shirt with the horizontal pinstripe red and black, right?
I had that with red because that was one of the first seasons we had red numbers, so I had Scholes 18 on the back of the Champions League.
Yeah, but that was a banger of a goal. It was a banger of celebration.
In '99, the quarter-final in Inter Milan, when he scored in front of that huge stand full of Inter Milan fans, and he was given that the larger like that.
Was that with his knob too?
Oh, it might bloody well have been
almost. I have to be accurate with that one.
What was it? The FA Cup final? Was it that he got caught with his fella out,
with his what's it out?
Yeah.
If no one's checked that, then I suggest you Google it, or not. If you haven't seen it, you can't unsee it. I'll warn you now.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I say, get over vintageunitedshirts.com and you can DM at United 100 Podcast. You can send an email, united100podcast@gmail.com. Give me your ideas. I've had a few savage ones as well, though, Scott, I must say. I had one guy who said he wanted the Roy Keane tackle on Haaland.
Yeah.
He said he did acknowledge. He said it's a bit savage, and then he sent me a picture as well of Keano standing over Haaland.
Yeah, would you still have Haaland in the shot when he was upside down in the air after being
the shot he wanted was Keane over Haaland shouting at him.
Take that, you.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest. There's some in there for your mate Weatherall. He said.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. Yeah, there's one there if you mate, because it was the pair of them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I'll pop that on my wall.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, absolutely. So good suggestion.
That game.
Good one.
I tell you, it was like you could have heard a pin drop when that happened. Were
you there? Were you?
I was there. Yeah, with my brother.
Were you really?
Yeah, it was. It was. I was the biggest Roy Keane fan, but even me, I was like, mate, that's too much.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I love
arrest him. Arrest him. Some old lady a few seats back.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I promise you. Arrest him! I couldn't believe it.
And I'm there saying, drag him off by his ankles, right? Those are the days, pal, weren't they?
Yeah.
Dear me. Blooming hell, how times change. Yeah. Anyway, came out in the second half, Scott, and we didn't have to wait long, did we, for Cristiano Ronaldo to break that duck. And come on, it's a duck, but it's a Ronaldo duck, right? Was it 4 or 5 games or something? It's not a real duck.
It's crazy, isn't it? And he hasn't even started half those games.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Remember when Rude went like 10 games, didn't he?
Who cares? But but in the same season he scored 30.
Exactly.
Did you know what I mean? It's like, this is the longest drought since Ronaldo scored like 14 games in a row before, and then like 12 games in a row after.
Yeah,
come on.
Van Persie had a mini drought, didn't he, in the title-winning season? Wow. And then he broke it at Stoke, didn't he, with a pen, and then bear hugged Fergie.
Yeah, you're right.
I'd like an artwork of that as well.
I tell you, no one had droughts like my Scholesy, did he? He'd go 40, 50 games without scoring, then score 8 in a row.
Yeah.
Can you remember when I think the worst one was when Giggsy went a whole season or went 18 months without scoring at home? Remember that? He was getting booed. It was like the early night. It was 94, 95. And he was getting booed at home.
I remember being in the stadium. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it, mate.
But he went a year and a half without scoring at home.
Yeah. Yeah. He was all over the shop with his hamstrings at one stage, wasn't he?
Yeah, but
to be fair to him, that was part of it, right? It was the hammies and the form, but he found a way. So
yeah,
there you go. But as I say, we didn't have to wait long. McTominay in with a win. Ronaldo had absolutely loads to do, didn't he? And it was a typical. It was like the way he struck that ball. You don't see anyone else strike it like that. No back lift, edge of the box. I've seen him do it so many times before. Right foot, left foot, doesn't matter. It's in before it even leaves his foot. It's absolutely brilliant.
yeah. His intention is so direct just to get a shot away that it's by hook nor crook, and it's amazing how much control he can get on it when he hits it that hard. It is. I mean, you see him doing something like that, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's why we got him. We don't need him hounding down centre backs. This is why we have Ronaldo.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And it was, as I say, sensational finish from Ronaldo. I could see it on his face from the start of the day. He wasn't going to let another 90 minutes slip by without netting a goal. And it's good timing as well, Scott, because we've got the Champions League coming back round. He is that miracle I'm talking about. He's the one. You know, he is the one we can hang our hat on and just pray that we get something we don't deserve. Because the way we've acted and the way we've operated as a club, we don't deserve it. But that doesn't mean that we won't get it. So Ronaldo being on form and being confident is absolutely essential to all these. And they are pipe dreams, I know, Scott, but it's all I've got to cling on to now.
Yeah, I'll add one into that in that we want the Paul Pogba that plays for France.
Yeah, and De Gea, right,
yeah, but
as well.
Like
if you think of one-off games,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, next week, let's go
Ronaldo
Madrid. Let's do it.
Ronaldo ended De Gea's Spain career, didn't he? Back in 2000, what was it? 2010.
That is true. No, 2010. Blimey, you hadn't even signed for us, you nutter.
Sorry.
2018, wasn't it?
Sorry, yeah, 2018. God,
you just deleted those years, yeah?
No, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking about something else. Sorry, I was thinking about when do you know? I was thinking when it was the World Cup final when Pogba gathered all his French mates but was like, "We need to go out and do this."
That wasn't 2010 either, was it?
That was 2018, wasn't it?
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
Okay, so the previous one was 2014, wasn't it?
Yeah, 18-14, yeah. 18-14-10.
Or was it the Euros?
No, 18-14-10 or 16.
So what was the one that Ronaldo scored a hat-trick against De Gea, and De Gea has never been the same since? Was that 18?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what
18.
2010.
And you're right.
That was in South Africa. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. Anyway, let's keep it positive, pal.
I love being positive. I was saying that we've got, Pogba, if he's going to be here for only a few more months, he can think, well, let's go out on a high.
Yeah.
All I need to do is turn up for a few games. And, that I'll add that caveat into your pipe dream.
I'll tell you right now, Scott, if Pogba plays a blooming part in us winning the Champions League, I won't give him a tirade when he leaves. How's that?
All right.
I'll spare him. I bet he's blooming happy about that as well. He's
thinking, I bet he'd be
thank God for that.
Oh, but he can sleep tonight.
Spared me.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had another bit of glory. 3 minutes later, you got to grab everything you can get these days, Scott.
3 minutes. It was only a minute 20.
Pardon me?
It was a minute 20 between the goal and the foul.
There you go. Hey,
it's crazy.
You beauty. Yeah. Slam dunk. Elanga through.
I think I had Lewis Dunk in my fantasy team.
You do?
I think I have had him recently. I haven't looked for a few weeks.
Few weeks, dear me. Anyway, went off to a long VAR review, didn't they? What do you reckon about that one?
Well, originally they booked him, didn't they? So I'm glad they did.
Because if they hadn't, they would never have looked, right?
Yeah, I think. It's hard because if there was no contact, then it could have been pulled back. But I think that it's denial of a goal scoring opportunity, so they are going to take it to VAR.
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew it that when VAR came in, that it was going to get everything right, but we were going to start using it for things that we wouldn't have before.
Yeah.
But in the end, we got a player sent off, so I mean, we can't be disappointed with it.
Yeah, I'd rather all those disallowed goals back, and he can stay on if I'm choosing, right? All those disallowed goals from the last few, and the blooming goal that Middlesbrough scored with a handball. What about that one?
That was ridiculous.
Oh, come on, mate.
Absolutely. How was that? Yeah, but yeah.
I mean, literally, Scott.
That's only half the problem, mate. The other half of the problem
Scott.
is the 35 minutes that afterwards that we didn't score, or the 65 including extra time.
100%.
That was pathetic.
Totally agree, mate. But come on, when they scored that goal, first replay I watched, I was like, I kicked back in my seat. I was like, no way, this is goal. No problem. I was laughing. I was like, way.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a couple of minutes to make a cup of tea before they disallow it.
Could not believe it, mate.
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Incredible.
Same thing happened in the Super Bowl. That the Bengals scored a touchdown after they ripped the Rams cornerback, ripped his face mask, and then they scored. And you're like, hang on a sec, you're gonna call this back, right? And it didn't. But it reminds me though. Forget all this, TC. We beat Brighton with a 100-minute penalty after the game had finished. They reminded me of that. I was, oh my God, can you remember that? What a day that was.
You know what, Scott? When I heard Bruno get booed, I was like, why did he get booed? I was like, oh yeah, probably because he scored a goal in the 700th minute.
The next day.
Literally ridiculous, mate.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So you think of VAR tearing us to bits every now and then, but we've taken advantage of it a few times too.
But you're really going to bring up the ref of the Super Bowl with that holding call late on?
Which one?
Yeah, which one exactly?
Which one? No.
Barely touched him, Scott.
Which holding call?
Exactly.
Oh, the Cooper Cup one? No, it was defensive holding, mate. That's past interference. The ball was already gone. Yeah. No, that was clear as day. But that was another one that at the time I was behind the couch, couldn't watch it, and I'm telling you, United's broken me, and this whole thing with Lewis Hamilton's broken me. That I can't watch sports the same anymore.
I did the old European double at the weekend. European sports fans who also like some American sports will understand exactly what I'm talking about. On Saturday night, I waited up for the UFC. I got about halfway through the card, dropped off, and I actually woke up in the worst timing possible, Scott. Any other time I woke up
when they're holding the guy's hand up.
You know what, mate? I was my head was still in the pillow. All I heard was Israel Adesanya saying, "I'm still the big dog in the yard," or something like that. Which to me, I know he's won, right?
Not necessarily. He could be saying, I might have got beaten, but I'm still the big dog.
No, I know him too well, mate. I could hear his tone, so I knew that was done. And then, of course, I went back to the well on Sunday night for the Super Bowl, and I went down in the second quarter, mate. The problem is with the Super Bowl, as a European watcher, is that it's late. You're all ready for it. You have a bit of grub, a bit of wine maybe, and then that halftime's too long.
It's right? 45 minutes.
I've got
even with those
tomorrow.
Yeah, but it's not quite. It's not quite that even. It's the 4 or 5. Every advert break is 4 or 5 minutes longer.
Yeah, I know, mate. The whole thing, and when it's the middle of the night, it's just a step too far, pal.
It's tough. Yeah. So usually I like watching NFL games with a bit of buffer, so I can fast forward through all the adverts. But you can't do that on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when your team's in it, just for spoilers.
Yeah, but I'm glad you got a bit of glory anyway, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
You deserve it.
And because you at least get your glory with old Rafa Nadal down under.
Oh yeah, you know it.
Wasn't he fantastic?
Absolutely fantastic, mate. So yeah, a few rays of sunshine, Do
you think people will actually consider him better than Federer now? Because he's always sort of been, number 2 to Federer.
You know what? My dad and my brother are monster Federer fans, mm-hmm. and I'm obviously a monster Nadal fan. And my brother used to argue with me again and again about Federer and Nadal. And I actually got him to promise me. I actually got him to shake on it, because at the time, of course, Federer was ahead of Nadal. And he was like, yeah, but, Federer's got more Grand Slams. That was his whole argument was that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, so when Nadal's got more Grand Slams than Federer, will you admit to me that Nadal is a superior player? And he did. He caved in. So yeah, he owes me that big time because now, of course, Nadal's on 21 and Federer's on 20.
Yeah. How many
He didn't
more?
think it was possible. That's why he agreed to it. I know. That's why he shook on it. He didn't think it was possible that Nadal would get past him. So, yeah, there you go.
And you've got to think, out of the two, it pains me that Djokovic is even in that. I've never liked Djokovic just because he bounces the balls too many times. TC winds me up.
What I'd say is, if you look
times he bounced the ball. I mean,
if you look at the head-to-heads, right, then Nadal certainly comes
Nadal
out
had his number.
Looking
Not
rosy.
just that. I mean,
on Federer and Djokovic actually, but let's get back to the football, mate, because some people probably hate tennis, right?
Yeah,
and probably American
football.
Hate
us, mate. Stop
listening. Anyway, look, mate, we had another golden chance on the 70th when Ronaldo laid it on a plate for Bruno. He had every right to shoot. He really did after intercepting Sanchez's pass, the Brighton keeper. But it was the right option to give it to Bruno, and it was a poor finish, wasn't it?
It was.
You've got to finish. You've got to score. It doesn't matter. I don't care what option you choose. If you don't get it done there's too much goal to hit for you to miss.
Yeah.
Really, really bad. And then we had Fred subbed off. He cheered though, wasn't it?
Was he cheered or was Pogba getting cheered? Come on.
Don't know. That's a fair point. As I said, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but he shouldn't have been. We shouldn't be. When we're one up, we should never be.
Oh, come on, Tom! It's 2022. You're supposed to cheer mediocrity. Every kid gets a prize these days.
Anyway, Sancho skinned his man again. Ended up with a Pogba getting his shot blocked on the 75th, and then Bruno with a gorgeous cross, wasn't it? Beckham-esque pinpoint. I couldn't believe Ronaldo missed that header. I really couldn't. Just glanced it wide. That's your bread and butter, Ronnie.
Yeah. He had another header as well that the keeper saved. Was that afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then Brighton hit the bar with a big old long ranger. It was decent, wasn't it?
It was Tom Cleverley-esque. Yeah. It was Tom Cleverley at Newcastle-esque, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Did he cross it?
Yeah, I think that was a cross, but this definitely was a shot. But I don't know what the commentator was smoking because he was like, De Gea's got a touch there. What an unbelievable touch. And the replay showed he was like 3 feet away. Oh, what are you on, Jim Beglin?
Jim Beglin, what is he on? Does he live in Los Angeles now? Does he live in Cali?
Definitely, yeah. He's got a permatan.
There you go.
Like Dr. Fox.
He's got a medical card then, has he?
Just like Dr. Fox, yeah.
Mate, Rashford came on for Elanga on the 79th, and then Tellez on for Sancho as well, just a minute later too. We had a Bruno rasper saved by Sanchez. And then what do you reckon? McAllister was booked on the 85th, stopping a breakaway. What do you think about this, Scott? I've had a little bit of a chat about this with the guys on Discord as well. For a long time, I've thought that these professional fouls or breaking up an attack should carry a heavier penalty. Where do you stand on that?
It depends. I mean, we half an hour earlier we saw basically the same challenge be deemed a red card because it was a goal-scoring opportunity, or the same sort of opportunity foul. Cynical foul, professional foul. Wouldn't it? I mean, it's hard because there's such a huge line now between a yellow and a red card that there's so much grey area.
That's what I'm suggesting, I suppose. Is
think there should be an orange
right?
card?
10 minutes, for a professional foul. So say for instance, you could literally, if we're manipulating the rules for VAR, we might as well go the whole hog. And if you break up an attack intentionally, I'd say, right, if there's an intention, then 10 minutes in the bin, I think that's a good punishment, right? You put it this way, right? If I'm on nothing, right, I'm not booked, I'm not redded, and someone's on a break and I've got a chance to side them down, I'm siding them down every day of the week. Not for me, for the team, right? That's the best decision for my team. However, if If it's the 82nd minute and I know I haul him down, I'm going to be in the bin for 10 minutes, miss the rest of the game, I'm thinking twice. It's true, right?
I mean, I don't know if you think
It's
I can
meant to be a
actually
deterrent,
implement
right?
this. Yeah, it's a good idea. I don't know. I don't know what you want me to do with it.
I'm just asking your opinion, mate.
I think it was a yellow card. I think that now that there are maybe yellow cards that are like, okay, this is a yellow card, and the next one you're off, right? Like
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think happened with Martinelli last week? He was in my fantasy team for that debacle. Obviously, Mike Dean was front and center.
Do you think? What do you think? Do you think
I think it was a red card. I think it was.
too.
Yeah, me too. But I think
Because the
that
thing
might
is,
be something
right,
that you'd give him a yellow and then an orange.
Well, the thing is, right, he's tried to play the system, hasn't he?
Well, it's actually 3 fouls, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's tried to play the system, and I thought it was good. And you know what? I like that style of refereeing. I like that style of refereeing that we used to have back in the old days, where there is a little bit of a room for, yeah, sure, this might not be what happens normally, but in this situation, it's obvious this guy is trying to take the mick. Let's get rid of him.
I mean, he definitely would have thought twice if he realised Mike Dean was the ref. Like, this guy's going to send me off in the space of 6 seconds. Yeah,
it was good to see. But anyway, mate, look,
not if he was in your fantasy team.
No.
Yeah, he's been in my fantasy team since he scored twice one game and hasn't scored since.
Mate, you're having a shocker.
Curse. I'm the curse that De Gea talks about, mate.
Yeah, you're having a shocker. Welbeck had a headed chance right at the end, didn't he? That was the moment, wasn't it? That was the one you're talking about, Scott. That was the one where you're saying it's going to be Welbeck. That was his chance.
That was it. And 1-0 up. You're thinking we've just been given 5 or 6 chances to seal this game. We haven't taken them, and here's that next nail in the coffin.
Exactly.
And it could have so easily happened, and then we're,
But not this time, Scott. Not this time. 6 added minutes. We huffed and we puffed, and right at the death, Pogba set Bruno away. He wasn't about to give it to Ronaldo this time. Sat the keeper down, tucked it away. 2-0 Manchester United, 3 points in the bag.
Thank God for that.
No
more relieved man in there than Ralph Rangnick.
Yeah.
What's he must be thinking?
He wears the look of a man.
I feel for him.
Yeah, I do too, Scott. It's not his fault.
It's not his fault, but he's been given...
What do we expect him to do?
You've got plonkers like Paul Ince coming out saying he should be sacked already.
Come on. What did people really expect him to do? Take us from losing 5-0 and 4-1 and 4-0 every blooming week to winning 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. What did people think was going to happen? Is it just flick a switch? That's how easy it is. I mean, come on. Don't be stupid.
No, but I mean... I think the first month we were trying to play the different formation. Fair play for him for trying something, for realising it and trying something else. But, a lot of people won't forgive him for that. And, but you expect someone to come in and
forgive him for that.
I'm just saying, like the press was still bringing that rubbish up.
He tried a formation, he changed it, right? He said he wanted to press. He's worked out we can't press, so he's given up on that too. He's dropped everyone. Right, he's dropped Ronaldo, he's dropped Bruno, he's dropped Maguire, he's dropped everyone who we wanted to be dropped has been dropped. I mean, what else can he do? I really don't get it.
I'm not criticizing him, which is why I started by saying you look at his face after that second goal went in, and there's a huge amount of relief on it that it doesn't merit that because he's coming. He's as you said earlier, he's only lost one game properly, right?
Interim manager. He's got all these problems. He's had a blooming the Greenwood situation to deal with. And we didn't sign up for that, did he? None of us did. But Jesus. Come on,
But as well, I mean,
imagine dealing with that.
Rashford situation. He's Marcus Rashford's been the worst form of his life, and he's trying to play him out of it, and then criticise for when he doesn't play him, but criticise for when he does play him. It's mental.
I think Rangnick's doing a good job personally.
I do too.
I really do.
But the
proof staying calm, and also Scott. Let's not forget the bigger picture. He can sort some things out here and send messages to the people upstairs as to who are the bad eggs, who are the bad apples, and he doesn't have to stay and deal with the fallout for that, right? So I think, considering he's an interim, considering everything thrown into it, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, but the real test starts next week, pal.
Yeah, absolutely, Scott, 100%.
I remember when Ollie came in, he won his first 12 games, and everyone was like, "Well, he hasn't played against good teams yet."
Yeah.
But
Atletico there for the taking. They lost 4-1 the other day, didn't they, to Getafe or something? They lost to Barca. They're not.
Yeah, but we couldn't beat Middlesbrough a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I know.
And then listen, Diego Simeone has got Atletico to the Champions League final in a year that they weren't even that good in the Liga. Remember?
Could be us, mate, this year.
Yeah, but he can get that team up and motivated. So they're going to be a really hard team, and they've got game winners. They've got Griezmann. They've got Suarez.
We do too, though. We do too,
for sure.
We do too, mate. And look, mate, we've got to enjoy it. We've got to enjoy next week because we haven't.
Because we might not be in the Champions League for another year.
We might not, man. But we could have been Arsenal. We could not have been it for the last 5 years, man. When these teams laugh at us, I always think, you can have a good laugh. But what wouldn't you have given to have won a European trophy in the last 30 years? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One European trophy. We've won in the last 5, by the way. Just 2017. I know, mate, but still, come on, give me a break. Go on, let's have a little chat about the fantasy before we finish. Who had Bruno as captain?
Horrendous.
Who had Bruno as captain? He scored in the 97th minute, eh?
Did you?
Oh, did he? Did he?
Good job. Nice job, yeah. Yeah.
And my captain picks have been awful, mate. If my captain picks had been better, I would have been all right. I would have been up at the top there. But instead, I'm slipping in there at third, I think. But yeah, that Bruno goal at the end was certainly a nice little fillip for me.
I almost chucked it in a few weeks ago.
You thrown in the towel?
Yeah, I almost deleted my team.
Did you really?
I almost did, yeah. Yeah, when I had to take Mason Greenwood out of my team.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I was like, what's the point anymore?
Yeah, I don't blame you, mate.
Unless this is your worst fantasy.
Yeah.
Then this game's great. Because I put players in and they get sent off twice in 6. They get booked twice in 6 seconds.
Mate, have you ever captained someone on a double game week and got -1 from him? Because I did that a few weeks ago with Dennis.
Yeah, no, you triple captained him, didn't you?
No, I didn't triple captain.
My brother triple captained, or he double captained him on the week he got -1, so he got -2.
No. Oh, you're joking.
No, he was kept because he got sent. He came on and got sent off, so he got a -1. And so my brother had him as captain because he was supposed to be playing for 2 games. That's right. He was supposed to be playing 2 games that game week, but then he got sent off after
I reckon he just captained him, right? Because he got a -1, so you got a -2 instead. That's what I got.
Yeah. But then he didn't play the second game, so he couldn't.
No, of course. And you know what, Scott? That's when I put him as captain. I thought, you know what? No matter what happens tonight, doesn't matter because I know right at the end of the game week, and it was I think it was a week and a half later, wasn't it? It was way later, the second game. I thought, I've got that in the bag, right? So whatever happens, he can blank, he can get yellow carded, no problems, all good. He's got that in the bag, and then he got redded. I was, he's suspended, isn't he? Oh, mate, it was tragic.
That's funny.
It was. I had a giggle about it anyway, mate. Anyway, listen, mate. Have you got a man of the match tonight?
Yeah, I think it's gonna have to be Bruno.
Bruno.
So, yeah, I'm sorry, he scored a goal. So that
we don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah, I thought he was great. He had a couple of fantastic crosses. Ronaldo should have given him a couple of assists, but I thought he was all round, not back to his best, but he's turned a corner. He's getting back up there.
And let's end on a positive note anyway, Scott, because we have had a horrible time, haven't we? And as United fans, we're not used to this. It's bloody hard to get our heads around it. But you mentioned Bruno there coming back into form, and Ronaldo's back in the goals now as well. Sancho's a different player to the player we've seen in the past weeks. The midfield is looking functional now. De Gea's on top form. There are some positives we can look to going into that massive, massive game next week. And they are the players that you would look to as our match winners as well.
Yeah, but we do have a few huge weak links in that team, TC.
We do.
and
We do.
they can be hugely exposed at a moment's notice. And to think we've got to go a whole home game without conceding.
But we are more compact as a side now, aren't we? That like the weaknesses are not
we give
so
up
exposed.
Such huge chances though. And when you got someone as predatory as Suarez, it's worrying.
Yes. Yeah, but you know Ronaldo always does it against Atletico Madrid. Scott, come on.
Yeah, but everything not everything can last forever, right? And
This is true. This is true, mate. We can't throw the towel in now, mate.
I'm not throwing any towel in, but I'm just
mate. If that Chelsea team in 2012 was it 2012, 13?
Yeah, Terry got sent off.
Terry.
If they can win it, can hold up. Yeah.
If they can win it, mate, then we can. If that blooming Liverpool team,
they had won the league a couple of years earlier, hadn't they?
They were bobbins, mate.
We haven't won the league for almost a decade, TC.
Wow.
Here we are thinking, all
right, Liverpool in 2005. We're way better than that team. They were crap.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
I'll
give you that.
So they're blooming,
I mean, I think we are probably better than the Spurs team that got to the final.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying we're good. I'm not saying we deserve it. I'm not saying we should do it. I'm saying I'm praying for a miracle. And all I've got to hope for, all I've got to cling to this season, Scott, is the Champions League, right? Mm-hmm. 4th place, this is a thing for the future. Great, well done, no problems. This is not something that gets my juices flowing. Champions League, it's all we got left, mate.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there.
I'm all in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's got to be, because that's literally the only thing that we are in still.
And it could change everything, mate. And we could do it. We could do it, pal. Anyway, anything else to add?
No, not about football.
Well, let's leave it there then. Thanks for joining us again, everyone. Make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to the pod. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any of the podcast catchers as well. Make sure you're following our social media accounts at United100 Podcast on Instagram, at United100 Pod on Twitter, and make sure you get over to vintageunitedshirts.com. Use that promo code United100 for the 10% discount off shirts, Icons100 for the 20% discount off artwork. And remember, they got a new drop on there as well. If you want to become a member of the pod, get over to patreon.com/United100. And you get different perks on there. Get signed up to our Discord chat as well. And we'll be back, Scott, won't we? After the weekend.
Yeah.
Of course, we've got that big Champions League game too.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
Yes, mate. And apologies to anyone if they've struggled to get hold of the last pod, which me and Ben did last week. I'm going to check that because I've had a few people say that they've struggled to get it downloaded on Spotify. So if there's any problems, I will re-upload it as well. And yeah, as I say, we'll be back at the weekend.
Yep. Looking forward to it, mate.
Thanks for joining me again, mate.
Thank you, TC.
Take care. Cheerio, Reds.
Ta-ra.